So I started by making a video on one of my favorite subjects, investigating dinosaurs. Specifically, my guy T-Rex. It's taken decades of detective work for scientists to try to figure the big guy out. But what's so cool is that they're still debating. Watch.
The Great Dino Debate.
In the Montana Badlands in 1990, paleontologists, scientists who dig up and study bones, spent the summer digging. Their reward? The first full Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton ever found. This lizard king has long been a favorite topic of debate among scientists. Now, with more information, there's more to debate. One biggie they can't agree on is how T-Rex got its food. Was it a hunter stalking and killing its prey? Or was it a scavenger feeding on the kills of others? Here's their evidence. The hunter side says, look at the way those eyes and ears point forward, the better to hear and see its prey. Scavenger side? Nope. Those eyes are way too small for hunting, and the nose is meant for smelling a rotting carcass. Hunters? The massive jaws are made to snap their prey in half with one bite, and the teeth are like sharp meat hooks, a mouthful of steak knives. The scavenger side agrees that the teeth are made for meat eating, but that doesn't prove that T-Rex actually hunted and killed. One of the things paleontologists agree on is that T-Rex was the greatest meat-eating machine ever. But as long as they continue to disagree on how it rounded up its food, the scavenger versus hunter debate will never be extinct.
Okay, now I don't know about you, but I've never even been lucky enough to leave my own state. But I love to read about other places and imagine I'm there. Like, say I'm in Jamaica. Sandy beaches, warm breezes, hot sunshine, and the cool guys in this next video. They're Jamaican athletes who found their personal path and rode it all the way to the Olympics.
No snow? No problem.
Welcome to Jamaica, a tropical paradise in the Caribbean. And meet these Jamaicans who made it to the Olympics. But wait, these are the Winter Olympics, and they're bobsledding. So how did these warm weather guys end up on ice? Well, their Jamaican sport of pushcart derby isn't an Olympic event, but it's a lot like bobsledding. So how many have ever even seen a bobsled? Preparing for the Olympics was an uphill battle. Training for speed and strength wasn't a problem, but practicing the bobsled run without ice required true ingenuity. Still, can training in the sun and sand really prepare them for Olympic competition?
We're aiming for 15th place in this race, and we're working towards that.
That may seem like a modest goal, but remember, these guys are from Jamaica. And in 1994, in their third Olympics, their perseverance paid off as the team exceeded its goal by placing 14th.
Well, we have beaten Norwegian teams, Swedish teams,
Japanese, Taipei,
Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia.
And it actually snows in those countries. The Jamaican bobsledders may never bring home the gold, but they sure have brought bobsledding into the hearts of Jamaica.
We've all studied Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s work in the civil rights movement, and maybe you even know about who he was before he became famous. I didn't. So doing research about him for these videos, I learned a lot of new stuff. About when he was a young man and his strong ideals and principles. About when he was a young man with a dream. Watch.
A young man with a dream.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is for all Americans a symbol of the power of peaceful protest. He waged a nonviolent fight for equal rights that began in 1955, and his message of peace still lives today. His feelings were rooted in his childhood in Atlanta, Georgia. His father, Martin Luther King Sr., was a minister who preached nonviolence, understanding, and love to his congregation and to his son. He also encouraged his son to value knowledge, and ML, as he was nicknamed, was an excellent and popular student. While in college, Martin studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, who won India's fight for freedom from Great Britain through nonviolent demonstration and protest. That was 1948, the same year Martin turned 19 and was ordained a minister. Then, when he was only 25, he and his new wife, Coretta Scott, moved to Montgomery, Alabama, where Martin took over the ministry of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. Only 1 year later, he put into practice what he'd learned from both his father and Gandhi and began a fight for civil rights that would be King's peaceful battle for the rest of his life.
Imagine trying to move huge solid stones that weigh nearly 30 tons and are like 3 times my height. Okay if you have big trucks, right? But these stones were moved over 4,000 years ago. How? Now that's a mystery. Watch.
Secrets of Stonehenge.
It is an ancient mystery, Stonehenge. This circle of stones looks very much like it did when it was built over a 1,000-year period, from 2800 BC to 1550 BC in prehistoric Britain. But we still don't know who built it, why, or how. We know the stones were moved from nearly 20 miles away, possibly for ceremonial viewings of the sun. We know some of the stones are as high as a 2-story building and can weigh over 50,000 pounds. So over 4,000 years ago, how could they possibly move them? These people are trying to solve the mystery. Led by scientists, they will try to move a stone using only the primitive tools available then: wood, rope, and animal grease. A replica stone is tied to a platform on wooden tracks, and they pull. To get it into the ground, they place a counterweight, then pull until it topples. It works. But is this really how it was built? No one is certain, nor do they know why it was built, or who did it. We can investigate and construct scenarios, but we still have many questions. Most of what we want to know about Stonehenge, who, why, how, may always remain a mystery.
Ty, is this job supposed to be work? Well, it sure seems like fun, because I got to put together a topic about people who are all out there being creative in very, well, creative ways. First, there's Stan Hurd. Now, here's an artist who can't save his work. Very few people will ever see it, and he can't even sell it. What kind of art is that? Intrigued? Stay tuned.
Crop art.
Stan Hurd might look like a farmer, but he really uses his tractor like a paintbrush. Huh? Yep, this farmer is an artist. Like most artists, first he sketches his pictures, but unlike most pictures, this one's not going to be framed. See, Stan doesn't frame his pictures, he farms them. He doesn't paint pictures, he plants pictures. Stan uses crops to make his art. Acres of art. The final picture can only be really appreciated from an airplane window seat. Check out the ears of corn. They're each longer than a football field.
My inspiration was to do something grand and do something innovative and do something that stretched the boundaries.
One of Stan's grandest pictures grew from 20 acres of Kansas crops planted in the pattern of giant sunflowers. And the crops are sunflowers. That speck down there is Stan being Van Gogh on a tractor. But you can't keep this guy down on the farm. This is New York City, where a couple of city guys who are first-time farmers helped Stan plant a landscape. In high-rises, who needs a plane to see the finished picture? Stan Hurd's a cool guy. From his fertile imagination come pictures that grow on you and look good enough to eat.
Now, who isn't fascinated by money? I love putting together these videos all about this. It takes amazing technology to create greenbacks. Well, they're called that because the back has only green ink, and the front has mainly black. And that's only the first of many cool things I'm going to show you all about how this is made.
Making money.
Who's making all this money? Well, it's all very top secret, but we're in the Treasury Department in places where no camera has gone before to find out how they create $22.5 million a day. This is how it's made. The process starts with gooey stuff that becomes paper that's unlike any other in the world. It's actually a lot more like cloth and even contains cotton, linen, and denim, like your jeans. Ever notice the red and blue fibers in the paper? The whole mess is boiled, cleaned, bleached, dried, and rolled out into huge sheets that are then packaged and delivered to the next stop, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. That's where the face gets etched, then pressed on the bill. The beautiful hand-cut steel plates are filled with green ink. It's a secret mixture of colors that makes this one-of-a-kind ink really hard to copy. The ink is forced onto the surface of the paper using 20 tons of pressure. This is why you can feel the raised ink on the paper. This is about all the government will reveal of their top-secret recipe for rolling out over 9 billion bills a year. That's one sweet stack of dough. That's right, but that's the point of these sports. They're either extremely gravity-defying or extremely death-defying, but all extremely fun to watch. That's how I enjoy them, watching them on video. Let's go snowboarding.
Extreme snowboarding.
Lace up, strap in, and get ready to rip it. Snowboarding is the hippest winter sport around, but hip doesn't just happen. It takes major practice and super skill before you can look this cool. And whether you're carving, jumping, flipping, or sliding, you'll be even cooler if you know your boots, bindings, and boards. It's your gear that gets you there. If you're into carving deep turns, you need resistance. Hard boots and bindings help you pressure the board. If you're into doing tricks, you need freedom to move. Soft boots and bindings give flexibility to pull off cool moves. And boards are your magic carpet. A carving board is longer with more edge, so it's slick for slicing. A shorter, wider board has more maneuverability for tricks. Sure, there's science behind your gear, but when you're blowing arcs, scoring major hits, then big face pops, who's thinking about science?
Hey, I'm Tammi. Boring is the last word I'd use to describe Dr. Jesus Rivas. If anything, they should make an action-adventure movie about this guy. They've already made a movie about anacondas, but what about someone who willingly wrestles with them so he can haul them in to be studied? It may sound crazy, but he's having a blast.
Snake Stalker.
Anaconda, one of the world's biggest snakes and a legendary killer. Not with poison, but with power. It slowly strangles and suffocates its prey, then swallows it whole. But that doesn't stop biologist Jesus Rivas from getting up close and personal with this massive predator.
If I let her wrap around me and I'm history and gone.
Jesus is leading the first ever study of the anaconda in the wild. He and his wife, Renee Owens, have caught, cataloged, studied, and released about 800 of them, all the while braving flesh-eating piranhas and killer caimans in the swamps of Venezuela. And Jesus does it all barefoot, so he can tell what's slithering around down there. He's learned that anacondas can grow as large as 30 feet long and weigh as much as 550 pounds. By putting radio transmitters inside the snakes to track and follow them, Jesus discovered the female doesn't eat for the entire 6 months of her pregnancy, which may explain the ravenous appetite. This snake is feasting on a 120-pound capybara, the world's largest rodent. It'll take days to digest it. Jesus believes the anaconda will take any prey it can subdue and swallow, possibly even him. But so far, he likes the score. Jesus, 800. Anaconda, 0.
Hi, I'm Nathan, and I'm here to take you to Harlem. Everyone's heard of it, but not everyone knows how this famous neighborhood became the heart of African American culture. Now, let's go back about 80 years and see how it all began.
Heart of Harlem.
In the 1920s, black artists made Harlem the capital of cool. This New York City community produced an amazing decade of music, literature, and art, a period called the Harlem Renaissance. It began with the writer and scholar W.E.B. Du Bois, who founded The Crisis, a magazine devoted to black issues. Du Bois wanted talented African-American artists to show the world what they could do. He inspired great writers like Zora Neale Hurston and Langston Hughes, who led an explosion of black literature. Soon, Harlem's library and the YMCA a few doors down were regular meeting places for the new literary stars, attracting writers from all over the country. Black painters and sculptors created a sensation too. Aaron Douglas painted the giant murals inside the Harlem Library. Richmond Barthé sculpted black faces and bodies. Most Americans had never seen artwork by African Americans. Now it was all the rage. The Harlem Renaissance was also about music and clubs and dancing. Duke Ellington played jazz, Bessie Smith sang the blues, and everyone who wanted to swing took the express train to 125th Street in Harlem. The Harlem Renaissance made black culture a part of American culture, and it turned Harlem into a place African Americans could call home. Langston Hughes wrote about it in his poem, Heart of Harlem.
The buildings in Harlem are brick and stone, and the streets are long and wide. But Harlem's much more than these alone. Harlem is what's inside.
Okay, next up, we're gonna see some athletes who stay in shape by losing their shape. I'm talking about sumo wrestling. Now, these guys gotta work to keep their weight up, not down, because extra pounds can come in handy in this sport. But there's a lot more to sumo than meets the eye, so if you really want the big picture, watch the video.
Mass appeal.
In Japan, sumo wrestling is more than just men throwing their weight around. It started about 1,500 years ago as a religious ritual. Over time, it became Japan's national sport. Today, everything in sumo still bears the weight of tradition, from the hairstyle down to the giant loincloth, which date back to the 6th century. A young man training for sumo must learn all the ceremonial movements of the sport, with frequent lunch breaks. Before a match, a wrestler claps his hands to get the attention of the gods. He stamps his feet to drive evil spirits from the ring. He stares down his opponent. Some sumo rituals can last for hours, but a match is usually over in seconds. If a wrestler is forced out of the circle or touches the ground with any part of his body, he loses. Easy, big guy. The highest-ranked sumo wrestlers are called yokozuna, a position of great respect in Japan. These heavyweight champs are treated like rock stars. They even get fat advertising deals. A Yokozuna must keep up his winning record or is expected to do the honorable thing and resign. A few Americans, like Manny Yarborough, are world-class sumo wrestlers. But it's rare for anyone to beat the Japanese in sumo. After all, they've been training for 1,500 years. Okay, alright. So there's these three friends, and they decided they wanted to put on a show. So they painted themselves blue, invented funny musical instruments, and played embarrassing jokes on their audience. And guess what? The show was a smash hit. Blue Man Group plays in theaters around the country, but you've got it right here.
Blue Man Group.
Three bald blue guys who never say a word? It's not what you normally expect from a night at the theater. But Blue Man Group is anything but normal. Their award-winning live show is a new kind of theater, combining art, music, and a healthy dose of fun and games. Ever heard of a backpack tubulum? How about a drum bone? These are some of Blue Man's crazy musical instruments made out of plastic tubing, foam rubber paddles, anything that sounds cool or looks even cooler. Blue Man finds music everywhere. As for the art, you can forget about paintbrushes. Blue Man likes to drum it out. Or maybe just spit it out. Silly tricks are all part of the fun. And sometimes the joke's on you. This unsuspecting audience member, disguised to protect the innocent, learned the magical properties of snack food during one Blue Man performance. When it's time to wrap up, the streamers fly, Blue Man rocks, and the audience rolls in the eyes. It's hard not to get caught up in this show. Bye-bye, Blue Man.
Imagine waking up in the hospital with flesh-eating maggots or blood-sucking leeches on your body. No, you didn't step into a horror movie. These are real treatments for certain medical problems, and they happen to be pretty simple and inexpensive. There's only one catch. They're gross. See if you can keep your eyes open for this one.
Bloodsuckers.
Maggots and leeches are slimy, blood-sucking, flesh-eating creatures. And believe it or not, they can be good for you. This doctor is studying and storing maggots because their gross eating habits actually help heal wounds, like this severely infected one on a patient's arm. The doctor wraps the maggots in the wound, and they begin feasting on dead tissue. With the dead tissue gone, healthy tissue can grow, and this sore heals within only 3 weeks. Doctors also prescribe leeches. These slimy creatures are usually on a diet of blood, but these chosen few are kept hungry, then bottled and shipped out to lend a hand to this man whose finger was reattached. Often with reattachments, the blood flows in but not out, so blood becomes congested and stops the healing. So they lay a hungry leech on the finger, its jaws go to work, and within only 30 minutes, the blood congestion is reduced. Who knew that these blood-sucking leeches and flesh-eating maggots are just what the doctor ordered?